Hi Farm to Family members, welcome to Just Roots Unboxing. This is our video for the month of January, and we're going to be looking at some quick recipes, ideas for storage, and tips on how to use the ingredients in your farm box. In our boxes this month, we have Yukon potatoes, carrots, beets, green beans, zucchini, green leaf lettuce, apples, parsley, tomato puree, dried beans, and winter squash that's cut and peeled. We'll start with zucchini, which is actually a type of summer squash, hence why we cook and prepare them interchangeably. Basically, summer squash defines a larger group of seasonal gourds with edible skin and tender flesh. I find that, like their cucumber relatives, they don't last that long in the fridge, so I like to use these up first in a farm share. You should leave the skin on. That's where most of the fiber and nutrients are. You can oven roast them with oil and seasonings. You can make zucchini chips or zucchini bread. You can try spiralizing them into zucchini noodles or do a pan-fried zucchini with pasta. You could bread them or just fry them up in a pan. Check out this easy zucchini and pork enchilada bake, or this mac and cheese and zucchini slice, which is kid-friendly, kid-approved. Moving on to green beans, which are a fairly well-known vegetable, but sometimes I struggle to use them before they start to go bad. What I found helpful is to blanch them and freeze for later use. I put a link in the description that tells you how to freeze green beans and includes the process of blanching. You can also try pickling them, either by doing a quick pickle with vinegar, like the recipe in the video description, or you can ferment them if you're feeling adventurous. This will also enhance their storage or shelf life. Here's an example of a sautéed skillet recipe for green beans with garlic. Check it out. Let's talk carrots. If you're curious or want to try out oven roasted or sautéed carrots, just think about what seasonings would enhance the flavor of the carrots. Here's a few starter ideas that I like to use when preparing them. Thyme, rosemary, salt and pepper, of course, garlic powder, cumin, coriander, smoked paprika, cinnamon, allspice, ginger, cloves, nutmeg, and turmeric. I'm going to demonstrate what to do to make your carrots stay fresher for longer in your fridge. You can start by removing the tops if they still have tops and stick them in a container in your fridge filled with cold water. And you can also leave them on the counter if you need to use them in an hour or so, but otherwise I'd say just leave them in your fridge in cold water. It really helps keep them hydrated, like at the grocery store when they miss them. Check out the pumpkin carrot soup recipe that's in our description. Beans, the magical fruit. There are so many types of dried bean, but what they all have in common is they take a long time to cook, unless you soak them. I rehydrate my beans the evening before I plan to cook them, like this, leaving about double the amount of water as beans in a container. You can leave it out on the counter, but you can also place them in the fridge. Soaked beans tend to be easier to digest and better for our bodies to absorb the nutrients in them. If you soak too long, you might see your beans start to sprout, like these chickpeas. Please note, they're still edible. Sprouted beans might actually be easier to digest, but if you're cooking a dish that you want whole beans, you should probably take them out after 24 hours. Although I love eating apples whole, my second favorite thing to do with them is to julienne or matchstick them and use them in a salad like this. That way you're not getting huge bites of apple in your salad, but you're bringing mild hints of sweetness. I love making an apple salad with the green leaf lettuce and roasting beets, squash, and whatever else you have, and making a little tangy vinaigrette dressing. And I store apples, if I use half, face down in a Tupperware like that. You can also try to squirt a little lime juice on it. That will help keep it from browning. Check out these apple pancakes in the description and a apple and carrot slaw. When it comes to potatoes, storage is everything. If you don't have them in a cool, dry, dark place, you're going to get eyes. The potato's going to start to grow. So sometimes you can just pop those eyes off, but sometimes, like this one, it's not so easy. You probably shouldn't eat that. I love this recipe for cheesy garlic butter potatoes, and there's a recipe from Maryland where you use potatoes as a dessert. If stored in your fridge, beets can last for a very long time. You can bake with them, juice them, oven roast, shred, make latkes. There's so many ways to use them. But if you have kiddos and they're totally put off by beets, try these delicious beet pancakes or beet waffles. Those are in the description. When I'm preparing beets, I like to peel them and cut them into large chunks. Those will go on a sheet pan into the oven, and I'll roast them with olive oil and spices, like that. Does your parsley look like this? Well, you can do it a little favor. When you first get it or after it goes wilty, stick it in a glass of water, and then you'll be able to use it for longer. If I'm struggling to find a recipe to use my parsley, I'll go to chimichurri. This is just a sauce that has garlic and herbs and oil, and it's delicious on crackers, meals, eggs, whatever you like. We can all use our tomato paste in pasta sauces or dishes, but I highly suggest trying out Shakshuka, which we've talked about before, but this time using Mexican flavors. Check out our recipes for this one. Last but not least, the beautiful winter squash. These you can leave sitting out. You don't have to put them in the fridge until you've cooked them, of course. And they last for a really long time, so you can save these for last in your kit. I recommend trying to use cinnamon and butter and bring out the sweetness of the squash, but there are so many recipe ideas you can use. That's it for this month's unboxing video. I just want to remind everyone that we are offering kitchen support hours, a time for you to come and demystify your kitchen mysteries, share recipes, or just ask any questions you might have. That's on Zoom on Fridays from 12 to 1:30. Send me an email, brooke@justroots.org, if you'd like to book or that time doesn't work for you, and we'll figure one that does. Hope you have a wonderful evening. Happy cooking.